Hello everyone, Jason Kamal, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, EXPCON 2017. I am here with Jason Gesing, the CEO of EXP Realty, and he's going to be talking a little bit more about growth and some numbers.
Okay, where do you want me to begin?
Well, tell me, right now, we're trying to send a message. We're trying to educate the brokers and real estate agents in Edmonton, Alberta, BC, and Ontario of what we're doing and why they should pay close attention to what's happening right here.
Right, yeah, certainly, and completely new concept. And so much like we experienced in the United States, it took us a while to get people to see what it was that we were doing, but it's been tremendous. You mentioned growth, Jason. I say, in 2015, we probably had about 300 agents at the start of the year. 2016, we had 864 on January 1st. 2017, the first of this year, we had about 2,200, and we just announced here in Fort Lauderdale, as you know, that we got 5,000 agents now. What's remarkable about that, a couple of things. It's not so much that we've got a number, right? The number's one thing, but what really is I think, tremendous for us and really bodes well for our future long term is that right now we went back and we looked in July and we said how many of our agents over the last 12 months have not closed a transaction. And keep in mind, this is an industry where notoriously people 30%, 50%, sometimes even a majority of agents in a firm, whether it's independent, franchise, whatever, are not productive. They're not closing deals, right? So the industry's become accustomed to that. They plan for it. And when we went back and we looked, we saw that only 12% of our agents, including licensed staff, licensed brokers who maybe aren't in production, myself as a licensee, only 12% of our agents had not closed a transaction in the last 12 months. And I think we were all internally probably even a little bit surprised ourselves, but couldn't be happier about that. The other thing, of the 5,000, and in particular in the last 12 months, we've really been able to attract some of the top agents in a number of marketplaces across North America, and really some of the top teams in the United States. And by that I mean people who have made the top 250 list. I'll give you an example. Darren James in the state of Louisiana, he's the #1 agent in the state. He's the #1 agent in the Gulf States region, and he's in that list. But he's not alone. Stephen and Laura Smith in the same marketplace. Sherry Elliott in Dallas, Texas. Brent Gove in Roseville, California, who at one point was the #2 agent in the entire state of California. And the list goes on. Marcy Willems in Tucson, Arizona, #1 team, 600 transactions per year, followed by the #2, #3, and soon the #4 team in Tucson. So it's really quality. And then the last thing I'll say about the number is that, and maybe this was a bit of a surprise too, because of the way we operate, which is we have this rich community with avatars. I think we maybe always thought we were going to really instantly attract those people who were born with headsets in their ears, out of the womb, the millennials. But we have people with us who are as credible as anybody in the industry in their marketplace, and they've been in the business for years, if not decades, and all they knew prior to EXP was the brick and mortar environment, the traditional staffing structure, and what they realize when they come over is a couple of things. That they can still have the community that they once valued in the office space, and we can talk more about that, but that they've been paying for that office structure throughout their entire lives, whether they're a brokerage owner, whether they're running a team, or whether they're an individual agent. Somebody's got to pay for those costs, and the agents have borne that on their back throughout the industry's history. And we have freed them from that burden, and as a result, they're able to earn more and earn in ways that otherwise wouldn't be possible.
Great. And there was also something that was said yesterday that we were, I think, 11th largest, and now we're in the top 10 largest brokerages.
If we're either there or we soon will be, as a single organization, and it raises a good point, which is, we're not a franchise model, and I think that has for us thrown off a number of different benefits, and we'll go back to the team situation, right? If you're running a team, you're building a team, whether you have people in multiple markets today or have aspirations to have people in multiple markets tomorrow. And when I say multiple markets, I don't mean just in Edmonton, and I don't even mean even in Alberta, right? We're talking about Toronto, we're talking about Texas, we're talking about Hawaii. As one company, if you're building a team in that way or you have those ambitions, here, you don't need to go and negotiate different arrangements with different owners of offices in these different markets. You don't need to go and figure out for yourself what the culture's like, and is it a place where you're going to be able to work with the people who are in leadership. You don't need to go and figure out what the policies are. Instead, it's one company, one set of policies, one culture, one financial model for everybody. Everybody's on equal footing. And the beautiful thing is that they're all shareholders of the public company of which we're a subsidiary, and they get shares just for doing things that good agents do and for making contributions, and that unleashes a lot of power, and it's a great cultural adhesive as well.
You know, it's interesting that you say that they don't have to really stress or worry about it, because I'm in contact with a few brokers in my local area, and they almost feel like, what do I do? And the truth of the matter is, we are, I think it's opening an opportunity for them to focus on what they love doing, the reason why they started a brokerage in the first place.
Sure. Yeah, brokerage owners, the opportunity is tremendous, and we've had a number of firms come over. Here's the thing, if you're a brokerage owner, you may be, the president of the state association or the provincial board, but, it doesn't, as long as you have physical bricks and mortar, your ability to expand and scale is limited by your willingness and ability to go ahead and get licenses in other jurisdictions, to join other MLSs and boards, to sign office leases in those markets, to figure out what tools you need to provide for your agents so that you don't train them and then they walk out the door and go to your competitor, all of that stuff. And for getting back to things that you enjoy, I've yet to meet a brokerage owner who says, I love balancing the trust account, right? The commission trust account. I love making sure that when the call comes from the council that I'm the one answering it. I've yet to hear a brokerage owner say that, right? And so there's a lot of work, a lot of detail work. You got to review contracts, you got to review files, you got to supervise all of these things, and we put all of that infrastructure in place for the brokerage owner. So now they can go and they can focus on the things that they really do enjoy, whether that's training, whether that's coaching, whether that's selling again, whether that's inspiring the people who've been most loyal to them and helping them get to the next level, or whether it's just continuing to grow, but this time now growing outside of the city, outside of the province, outside of the country. And that's the opportunity we provide. It's the opportunity to scale. And I'll say too, when the economic downturn hit in the U.S. the last time around, that was when we launched. And it was a time when a lot of offices went out of business. Owners who'd been in the business for a very long time, because in the traditional cost structure, the profit margins aren't great, right? But as soon as you start to create some efficiencies by using technology in a way that provides community, all of a sudden now you don't have redundant staffing, you don't have monthly lease payments, which in a down market, those aren't going to go away, right? And so I think that, whenever there's an economic downturn, I think we're able to help keep people in the business and maybe even grow during it.
Yeah. Firsthand, I know this for a fact. The people that have already I brought on in Edmonton, I call them up and I say, how can I help you? How can I support you? And say, Jason, I figured it out. It was so easy through the cloud. It was all taken. So I almost feel like, I want to help them, but they don't need me. Like the technology is that good. So I'm really excited about that. Also, I wanted to you have the intention to possibly come out and visit us in Alberta, and I also just starting a team in Ontario. So I'll be inviting you in the future to come out, possibly time allowing. To
I would love that. I would love that. I would tell you, we just did an official launch in September in Ontario, in Toronto. Our broker there is a member of the board of directors for the Toronto Real Estate Board. Soon will be one for the Canadian Real Estate Council. Very credible individual. We've got some great people in Ottawa as well. We've got some great people in Calgary. I'm actually an Oilers fan, I like hockey. I'm a big hockey fan. So I would love to have that opportunity. But there's anytime you're starting something and it's a new concept in a particular market, it takes the leaders among that market who really see it, really see the vision, and who will have an opportunity to deliver the results and the benefits to everybody else. So I would be more than happy to do it. I'd say on your comment on the cloud, if it's okay, just go for another minute. What you'll see here and what you've seen here at our conference, we've got about 900 people here today, and you've been watching them interact, you've been interacting with them, you've seen how they get to know each other, how they have these conversations. I would say in 8 out of 10 of the conversations that you're witnessing, they started in our world, right, in our campus. And so people who are listening to this, they might be like, what are you talking about, this world, right? So this is, there's always been value in the real estate office insofar as agents like to work with other people, they like to be around people, they like to develop referral relationships, they like to have a shoulder to turn to if they got, having a bad day, they lose a deal, who can I turn to give me some solace? And I think as the consumer has become more and more equipped in terms of the information at their disposal, they're not coming in the office as much, so the business isn't flowing flowing in, the phones aren't ringing, the agents aren't going in, and so that's sort of been taken away or it's disappeared.
Yep.
I think we have been able to restore it. We have training rooms. We do about 25 hours of live instruction each week. We have a fully staffed tech support team, so they will help you with software, hardware, systems issues, whatever you need, and they're always available, right? We have a transaction staff. Very talented staff. We got agent services people. We've got trainers. We've got coaches. We've got the presence of all staff and executive. Everybody's accessible. But we also have the social component. We have the water cooler chat spaces. We got a pirate ship on our lake. We got a soccer field. We can dance in there. We have birthday parties, baby showers, and all of that's really important. So we've restored that office experience, that collegiality, but now we've made it so that the agent in Edmonton can meet with the agent in Massachusetts, who can meet with the agent in Alaska, and they can all sit across from one another at the same table and really feel like they're in the best and same space to get work done and to get to know each other.
That's fantastic. And just a note, I'll be posting a link in this video to EXP World. Anybody can download it and actually install the application, actually check it out. So that'll be in the link here today. I thank you for your time. Anything else you'd like to add?
Couldn't be more excited that we're in Edmonton, really, and looking forward to our growth there and to delivering opportunity to a lot of people, a lot of good professionals who haven't had it arrive before now. So anything I can do to help, you tell me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.